And this is Hambone.
What's
And
up?
this is Mai Tai TV episode number 7. Tonight we got a great episode in store for you. We are going to talk about Shane McMahon's return to the WWE.
Woo!
And all the excitement that's causing and the insane match that they're formed and whether this is going to be the biggest debacle in the history of WWE or whether this is going to save the WWE.
Fingers crossed.
We'll also be talking about...
Ooh, we're going to be talking about the lovely drink that we're making tonight, which is the Castaway.
Is that what I have right here?
You have it right in front of you. It's a
Do I
nice
need a
sipping
straw?
drink.
It's a sippy
It's a
drink.
sipping drink. We're sipping.
Wow, that's good. Oh, I've been cast away to some island with a golf ball. Or is that a volleyball? It's a volleyball.
Sure.
We shall also be talking about
the movie.
We will also be talking about the state of punk rock, where we're going to determine whether we are just old or whether there's still punk rock scene.
Court's not out on it yet, folks.
Not a single gray hair on this head, sir.
Lots of gray hairs. The pomade covers it up.
And finally, we're going to be talking about...
Record Store Day.
We're also going to be talking about video games.
And video games.
You always miss the last one.
I do always miss the last one, and that's what you think I'm drinking, but I'm just forgetful.
We're going to talk about old man video games. Video games you can play between your job and the time you go to sleep and still keep your wife happy. So, first thing. We need to wish the greatest gentleman in the world, Gentleman Joshua Goldfarb, a very happy birthday!
Goldfarb, it's your birthday!
It's your birthday, Goldfarb!
Love you, man.
Joshua, the Messiah, the greatest of all time, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, buddy.
We did not sing you a song. Perhaps tomorrow, if I'm sober enough. We're not that sick. Anyway, talk to us about the Castaway.
The Castaway. So, I've been thinking about the drink I wanted to make this week, and I have really been thinking, especially because I had a party the other night and people did want some drinks, how sometimes, you know, when you have a lot of people to make drinks for, or maybe you're just entertaining, having more than 3 ingredients gets to be a little overbearing.
Yes.
So I thought I would find a drink that sounded awesome that had about 3 ingredients, and that was the Castaway. It also ties into the fact that I have not had my coffee yet today, so let's start with one of the main ingredients in the Castaway, Kahlua. Now,
whoa, I
know.
did not taste Kahlua in this.
Blowing your mind. So here, check this out. Let me slide the iPad over a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to add in 3/4 of an ounce of Kahlua. We got the jigger all ready to go.
3/4 of an ounce of Kahlua.
All right. So I know earlier I made the whitewashing. And I still had some trouble saying it. So we had this left over for when I made the when I made that white drink that everyone liked so much, especially George, we had some Kahlua left over. Now, this recipe really does call for gold rum. What we use tonight is the Martinique Clement that George is completely crazy about. I like it because it has a little hint of cocoa bean in the aroma, so I thought it would really complement the Kahlua. So we're going to use 1.5 ounces of that. Because, of course, any kind of tiki drink will be heavy on our friend rum. All right. Now, to keep it simple, we're going to put in some pineapple juice. Now, pineapple juice, you want to go with the no sugar added type of pineapple juice. So we're going to use this lovely Trader Joe's pineapple juice that we thought might have been expired, but it's not. We've been using it on every episode so far. We're going to put in 3 ounces of this right here.
I've yet to get diarrhea.
That's really good to know. So we're going to put in 3 ounces. Now, we have the ice in here already. I'm going to add a little more ice because you always want to have the ice floating above the top of the liquor and the juices and the other ingredients that you put in your drink. And we're going to give it 10 good shakes.
10 good shakes.
Now, this recipe actually calls for us to just dump it in as is with the ice, not straining it. However, I really do enjoy a strained cocktail, and we have these awesome square ice cubes from the Bespoke Post box that George has gotten before. So we're just going to drain that right in there like that. And look at that way that big, beautiful ice cube flows to the top. And you got a nice layering of color between the Kahlua and the other ingredients there. So we're going to take a little sippy sip of this right now myself.
Well, we got some compliments on the fact that they can actually see us make the drink this week.
And there you go. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Oh, that's
very
delightful.
Good. I don't know if it's refreshing. I think it's more like it's like the pineapple just takes a little bit of the bite of the rum off.
Oh, absolutely.
The Kahlua just gets it a little more going.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this is like lie down on the beach type of drink.
I think this might be a brunch drink.
Brunch drink?
I think this is the new brunch drink.
This might be the new brunch drink.
This might be Spring 2016's mimosa replacement.
Okay, I'm down with the Castaway, and I'm even more down with Shane McMahon back on WWE TV.
I am pretty stoked about that.
We heard the pop of the year when he came out. For those that do not know, a pop is the loudness of the audience as a wrestler walks down to the crowd. And Shane McMahon, the son of Vince McMahon, the owner, CEO of the WWE.
Who also got a cheap pop last night by coming out to the Undertaker's music.
Yeah, he has returned to salvage what might be the worst WrestleMania in the history of WrestleManias. And that's even including some of the really bad ones from the late 80s, early 90s.
You know what's really interesting about that today, too, was I think Stephanie McMahon and a bunch of the NXT roster was down at the Sun Bowl, where they're promoting the next year's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So it's like they're just kind of trying to sweep this one under the rug.
This WrestleMania is so bad on paper, they're giving it away for free on the network. If you are not a subscriber to the WWE Network and you sign up right now, you will get... I think it's just if you sign up for a trial, you will get WrestleMania for free.
For free.
For free. I think that's insane.
That is cuckoo bananas.
But then again, when your headlining match is Coco Beware versus Hulk Hogan, it is too much Castaway already. When it is...
There's no vodka.
There's no vodka and there's no tequila either. El Greco is not coming out tonight.
Oh, no.
When it's Roman Reigns versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley, that's a pretty bad headlining match. But now we've got Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell. On the line is Shane McMahon's life. And on the other end is Shane McMahon running Raw going forward.
Which I think is going to be amazing. Shane McMahon's in fighting shape.
Oh, for a 44-year-old.
Yeah, he's in better shape than I am.
I mean, the only other 44-year-old I know in that good shape is Albert Cufante.
He is in pretty good shape.
So, I don't know. And I think he might give Shane McMahon a run for the money.
I definitely can't outrun him. My cardio is garbage.
But go ahead.
I think that he's in fighting shape. I think he's going to put on a hell of a show. And I think that he's had a long-standing relationship. You know, we've seen some of the bumps he's taken where we know he's going to put on a good show. Because initially when I normally my knee-jerk reaction to hearing Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell!
Is like, again, we've seen this. We've seen this so many times. It actually feels fresh again since he's going in there with Shane O'Mac.
We've been talking about it. I honestly think there's no way that he can't win this. Because what's the other option? Undertaker just kills him? Like... They can't do anything but have him win, have him take over Raw, have Stephanie take over SmackDown, and the brand split happens again, which is not a bad thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I just don't know that they have enough active wrestlers to do a brand split because everyone's injured.
Well, that's where you bring up some of the NXT guys that have been down there for a little too long. Like Finn Balor's been down there too long.
I hope he stays down there for a little while longer. He's a gem.
But he's barely on. I think it's time.
Well,
and
he only got an hour a week.
I think there's enough wrestlers that they start bringing up people that have been down there for a little too long.
Right.
I mean, we can see Tyler Breeze wrestle a little bit more now.
I would love to see Tyler Breeze
wrestle. I would like to stop this conversation right now and say how much I love this Deadpool Hawaiian shirt you're wearing.
So we got so psyched on Deadpool. I actually, for a previous episode of Mai Tai TV, I was looking for, I'm like, there's got to be a picture of Deadpool doing something like in a tiki shirt. And there really wasn't any. However, I came across We Love Fine, who makes a lot of the shirts that I wear. I have a lot of t-shirts, but We Love Fine. And I bought this We Love Fine Deadpool shirt. It's Deadpool, and I thought it was pineapples when I purchased it online. When I got it home, the pineapples are actually grenades. So it is awesome, and the price you can't beat.
And it's like silky.
It really is like silky, and I normally don't like Hawaiian shirts that are made of this material. In fact, we're going to take a little sidestep here. I was online the other day because I was watching Goonies for the 175th time.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I saw Chunk's shirt, and I'm like, man, I wonder if someone's got to make a Chunk shirt. And our friends at 80s, it's the new White Russian. Our friends at 80s Tees make a replica Chunk shirt, so that's the next thing I'm going to be ordering. You're going to see me rocking that Chunk style.
I must say, though, when I went to Hawaii, I noticed all the Aloha shirts, all the vintage ones are silk or polyester.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way. I mean, I'm a little too heavy and a little too hairy.
Yeah.
And silk and polyester, when I'm sweaty, does not rub me the right way.
Yeah, that's why we're wearing this now. In the spring, it's going to be straight Target normal material.
Yeah, Old Navy's already started releasing them.
Yeah.
So, our tangent on Aloha shirts go that way. We are not going to do a full rundown on WrestleMania because we're going to save that for the week before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But I just want to let you know that I am excited for Shane McMahon being back.
Oh, absolutely.
It saved otherwise horribly dull WrestleMania, though. It looks like we're going to possibly have Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens now, which is amazing.
That's awesome.
And look, WWE has been known to pull out great WrestleManias out of their ass.
Oh, yeah.
When things are falling apart.
They kind of have to.
So, it was nice seeing The Undertaker basically tell Vince McMahon, I hope you enjoyed having a son, because he is dead. But, I don't think they're going to kill him.
It's not understated at all.
I hear rumors wrestling's fake.
Oh, no!
We'll save that for another episode. But today, we need to talk about something a little more serious. And I don't know whether this was a conversation I had with Josh Goldfarb or Allison or someone, but one of the things that have been bothering me, particularly recently, because I have taken upon myself to start cataloging every image I've taken of bands since I started shooting bands in 1994.
That's a lot of film, yeah.
That's a lot of film. I didn't start shooting digital until 2007. And to do that, I've kind of wanted to archive every concert I've ever been to.
Right.
Which it has been a struggle because, as Josh pointed out recently, I don't have ticket stubs for a good chunk of the free shows that I was given admittance to.
Yeah.
You don't always, unless it was a Ticketmaster show, you really didn't get a real ticket. You typically just got a, hey, here's, especially the Coney on High shows, the Wetlands shows.
Oh, yeah, because they were,
yeah.
If anyone got savvy to, there was like a Kinko's back then, everyone would have gotten for free because they were just giving out paper tickets that they printed at Kinko's.
Yeah, so it's been a struggle. My memory has been, really bad. I've got about 500 shows that I've ID'd. Yeah. I've got another couple hundred that are just I know I was there. I know I've seen this band. I don't know when. I know I've been to this club. I don't know who I saw at this club.
Yeah.
But what I'm really seeing, because I was literally shooting bands every single night of the week. It was I'd wake up, I'd go to school, I would go work at Sam Goody, I would go to a show. It was floss, rinse, and repeat every single night.
Right.
And I'm looking at these lineups, and I'm also going through old Angel Fire sites and alt.hardcore.punk message boards and looking at the New Jersey punk scene of the 90s, and you could literally go see a legend every single night of the week.
Right.
I mean, legendary. I mean, you could see Rancid one night, you could see Offspring, H2O every single night, Bouncing Souls every single night, and I'm struggling to figure out whether there's still a scene like this, because I know a lot of these shows that we saw were backyard shows, VFW hall shows, a lot of shows in churches, a lot of shows in basements.
Well, connections in the loop, too.
Exactly.
I mean, talk about, we'll bring it back to our friend Charles Moran with the lawn darts. He had, at the drive-in, opened up for the lawn darts. I forget who else. It was a list.
My Chemical Romance was one of the bands I found on my...
they opened up for the lawn darts. I mean, how many people who are legends that actually opened up for our friends' bands on a Tuesday?
Yeah, and it's I get that I'm old.
Right.
And that I'm not as in touch with the scene.
Yeah.
But you know what? I still go to record stores every week. I still buy fanzines when I see them. I still pick up Maxim Rock and Roll when I see it. And it's still being published. And I just... Yeah, it is. It actually is. There's still new issues coming out every single month.
That's awesome.
Actual printed issues. And I'm well, is there a punk rock scene or is there not? And if there is one, is it that I'm just too old to realize where it's happening? Because there are no clubs left in New York and New Jersey. Really. And, but then on the opposite side, and I'm rambling a little bit, I'm also arguing myself. Every time Rancid or Bad Religion or The Descendants someone comes around, they sell out multiple nights at Terminal 5 at the Roseland. Right. So someone gives a shit.
Well,
and they're not just us, because there's a ton of young kids at these shows.
It's different. It's not better. It's different now. I mean, I have a different perspective on it because I was playing in bands during this time. And I was not only going to the shows that you were going to shooting, I was playing these shows. So, like anything else, once something is good, it gets ruined. Once something is fun, someone finds a way to unfun it, and you lose venues. We lost a lot of the halls. The M&M Hall, we lost... I don't even remember the names of half the halls anymore.
Every single Masonic temple.
The Wayne Firehouse, evering,
Middlesex County College.
Right, exactly. And then, a lot of the clubs, it's a business. When you at first I'm like, man, why don't they support the live bands? Why don't they promote the live bands? And then, getting in the bar business, I realized that it is a business. It's not bar your basement fun, it's bar business. And, a lot of these bands don't promote. A lot of these bands didn't flyer. A lot of these bands, when it comes down to it, it's not even so much the venues, it's the bands that don't do any legwork to get people to come out to the shows. Because I'm sorry, if you're in a band and you don't have 5 friends that can show up to see your band, quit the band. Don't play out. Please, do the bartender a favor. Don't play out. Because it was getting to me because I would go and I would be in the FedEx Kinko's on Route 3. And I would be sleeping under the tables while we printed up flyers after working like 2 jobs to get people to come to these shows.
But what am I saying? That's great, but that's 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002.
And now you don't have to do that anymore because now people, there was so much more power putting a flyer in someone's hand, or like, if you were brave, like posting up your flyers in New York City with glue on those construction walls that never come off. Because you still see flyers like from like the year 2000 because they haven't come off. Now it's click online. Oh, people are like, it's not even I'm going to an event anymore on Facebook. It's I'm interested in an event. So it's hard to get people to go out to do anything because there's always something else to do. There's no more urgency because we're old. Now younger people.
And that's what I'm asking you.
They go out.
I'm not talking about us.
But they do it in different places now. I mean, there's back to people doing basement shows. Porta in Jersey City is doing punk rock shows.
Good point. Good point.
So there are places.
Too bad their shows all start after midnight.
Yeah, well, I mean, they are a restaurant. Here's the thing: there are going on. There is still a scene. We're not a part of it because we're old. It's almost like leaving Neverland and going back, and Peter Pan comes back to find Wendy, and Wendy's an old spinster. We're the old spinsters of the punk rock scene. That being said, there is still a lot of exciting music out there. I really love a band called The Wildlife now. I know one of the kids in the band, and the band is friggin' awesome. So it's happening. It's just, I don't know that we're in a position with the lives we lead to just really immerse ourselves in it. Or we'll end up being the guy on the hard times.
So you do think that there are still VFW halls going on?
Oh, they'll always
basement shows still going on.
They'll always be, but it's different. Like we left Neverland. We're old. We see it a different way now. We see it as the show starts after midnight. Or like, the website, The Hard Times, like, local legend, no one knows him because he's like that only old guy at the show. He's just like hanging out in the back. It's just like, I mean, that's where we're at now. But that being said, we'll still go into a place and tear the roof off. We do the Hamwood and Friends thing like once a year, every so often. And it's just, punk rock gory because everyone comes out because it's a different kind of party. It's just still people who love music and who still love the scene and have the great memories of it, but they just maybe can't with the lives that they lead and the responsibilities they have kind of just go to a New Brunswick basement.
You see, but I can.
I know you can.
And the thing is, I just don't know when the hell the shows are. And that's why I was wondering if there was just... Look, I'm on every possible stupid group still, and I can't... But then again, I also don't know what is popular these days. And
it's hard to tell what's popular.
Because I thought, if I listen to Faction on XM radio, maybe I could figure something. But they just play Pennywise and like a handful of new bands.
Play so much Pennywise.
And it's just a I love Spotify. I use the Discover feature on there, which is fantastic. You favorite your bands, and they go find new stuff and old stuff that fits around. It's one of the greatest features of Spotify.
Well, okay, Spotify was great because I found a band called the Black Halos that I really liked. I really liked the Black Halos.
Old.
What's that?
I think they're kind of old.
And that was the thing I found. I'm like, man, I was like, I can't believe I've never heard this before. This it must be new. And I actually went to iTunes. I bought the record, and I clicked on it. It was like 2001. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I think I saw them with like Sal Lucci way back.
You probably did.
But so that was my whole thing. And the other thing I was wondering is maybe the reason why the bands we used to love are now selling out major theaters is because there are no local shows. Well, and that means like people are really psyched when someone comes around.
It's not that. It's. I think it's that. But I think the flip of it is that because now all these bands are dealing with like Live Nation. They're dealing with bigger booking venues. So it's not how it used to be where you used to be able to call the Bouncing Souls on a phone and be like, hey, come play my backyard or play my bar mitzvah, and they would show up. There was a lot of bands who came through where it was pre-booking agent, pre-whatever. They were just grateful that you were giving them pizza, and here we go. Now bigger companies are booking it through, and a lot of the audience, like the Bad Religion audience, how many of these people are, you have a lot of younger kids there who are psyched because they were like, oh my God, I'm going to see Bad Religion. And then you have the adults who are like, oh, I'm psyched. I got a sitter. I'm going to go get drunk at Bad Religion.
Well, a lot of times they bring the kids.
Well, it depends on how old your kids are. But
go to an Iron Maiden show.
Oh, I can't wait.
Iron Maiden shows these days are like parents and their kids and their kids' kids. It's weird.
Yeah, and that's cool. And that is cool because my dad took me to see concerts when I was a kid because my mom didn't want me to go to New York with the older kids. So the compromise was my dad would take me to see shows. The best part of it was my dad loved it. Like, my dad took me to see Elvis Costello in the attractions. He took me to see Mudhoney. Took me to see Bob Mould. I think Mudhoney was like the line where he's like, just go with the older kids to the setting. And then they took me to see Jawbreaker, and then they took me to see everybody. So, you know, it's cyclical, man. The scene will come back. People get passionate about music again. It just, I think we're in a downswing right now. It'll come back around.
All right, so if you do know of cool shows going on and you want Hambone and Friends live from, or Hambone and George, or Mai Tai TV,
I show up.
we'll show up.
You got drinks?
We'll show up. I might bring a camera too.
You got a pool? Cute sister? Call me.
So, Record Store Day list just dropped. Speaking of aging punk rock and stuff, we collect records. Records I hear are very popular with the kids these days too.
You collect records.
You don't collect records. What do you collect? What do you listen to this music stuff on?
Apple Music right now.
Really?
You didn't know that?
You don't have a record player?
I don't have a record player.
We need to do something about that.
No, that's cool. I don't want to collect
no,
records.
you want to collect records.
You
have to collect records.
Oh, I do not have to collect records.
You have to collect records. You have an apartment now. Your whole apartment needs records.
No, my apartment has the Bluetooth speaker and the Apple Music.
Blah, blah, blah. You need records. So it's like Record Store Day.
I will never use it.
Record Store Day is one of the most amazing things ever.
Right.
A few years back, to help, right after the recession, to help boost morale and record sales at struggling record stores like Sam Goody.
Yeah.
That was a bad joke. The Record Store Day was created, and basically all independent record stores got independent releases, special editions, limited editions.
Which is cool.
For one day only, and people would flood to the record stores and buy these awesome limited releases.
Do they do it more than once a year now?
Now, they also do it Black Friday.
Okay.
And then there's another thing we'll talk about right afterwards.
Okay.
But that's like a bastardization on all society, because that's Store Day.
Oh, well, I've got a lot of stuff to say about that.
But the bad thing that's happened is that, I don't want to say Record Store Day has become corporate, but the major labels have decided it's a giant way to milk the system. So they are now flooding the market on Record Store Day with really kind of crappy 7-inches and full-length albums, charging $40 for them.
Yeah.
And it's what the worst thing that's happening is it's very hard now for an independent band to get an album pressed anywhere or 6 months around Record Store Day,
because the majors are doing it now.
are just killing, because there's only like 2 record plants left.
Those sons of bitches.
So, but let me just go through some of the amazing things coming out. We will see a re-release of Aha's Hit South America.
Not interested.
We will see the new version of the Bee Gees' Faith No More split single of I Started a Joke.
Really interested.
Justin Bieber's Purpose is coming out on Def Jam Records as a 12-inch picture disc.
Not a single F.
David Bowie, they're releasing a bunch of his stuff.
They're milking the cash.
Johnny Cash has an All Aboard the Blue Train. Why is that band name Churches have a V? Whoa, we do have a 12-inch from Clutch, but I think it's a single, and I hate 12-inch singles.
Oh, that's the worst.
And Miles Davis, Ghetto Walkin'.
Could be cool.
Is there anything else good? Josh, you may be right. There might be nothing else that's really good. I hate 7-inches. Talk about 7-inches. What are your thoughts on 7? You don't collect records.
Well, my thought, no. Well, I mean, back when I was playing in bands, when I was younger, my thoughts on 7-inches were every band was doing 7-inches, so we really, really, really wanted to do a 7-inch. We just couldn't afford it. 7-inch pressing was, you'd have to press, for what we would spend for about 500 to 1,000 CDs, we would have to spend to get 100 like vinyl 7-inches. So I've never had a 7-inch of any of the bands I've been in. The juice is not worth the squeeze.
Gwar is re-releasing Scumdogs of the Universe.
That's cool.
Which I spent way too much money on trying to get an original pressing. I wish they would release Hello, which would make me very, very happy. We have Ignite's releasing a 7-inch. Iron Maiden's releasing Empire of the Clouds as a 12-inch picture disc, which, while I hate 12-inch singles, Empire of the Clouds is like 18 minutes long.
It's 18 minutes, so you could imagine that makes sense.
And we have new music by Lil Wayne. The Carter and the Carter 2 are both coming out. Madonna's releasing a greatest hits. I'm reaching right now. The Monkees have a collection coming out.
Yeah, the Monkees, you could just go to any record store to the 50-cent bin and get any Monkees record you want on any day of the year.
You want the 12-inch of Mo Money, Mo Problems.
Not really.
Pussifer's releasing V for Viagra. What are your thoughts on Jay Retard?
I have none.
I don't either. Wasn't he in like some group called DRY, or am I completely confusing him with someone else?
I don't know. I know a lot about rock and roll. I know a lot about music. And then there's the few artists that just kind of slip through my fingers that I just...
Soul Asylum's re-releasing Grave Dancer Union.
It was an okay record. It had 3 great songs on it, but Soul Asylum's one of those bands where if you took all of their singles except for Misery and a couple B-sides, you'd have one perfect record. That being said, they made like 9 records. So.
Yeah. Matthew Sweets releasing some remixed version of Girlfriend, which is, by the way, the first concert I've ever went to by myself.
No kidding.
Me and Mike Dolan saw Matthew Sweet on the Girlfriend tour at Seton Hall University.
That's awesome.
1 tickets on WSOU.
Hambone would love Jay Retard. Oh, yeah, man.
We will take a listen to it. And
Gold Farb, I'll check it out.
And then the only thing I'm really super psyched for is the first time release of the Judgment Night soundtrack, 12-inch vinyl, one of the best soundtracks of all time next to the single soundtrack, which I still don't have yet.
They never released that on vinyl?
As far as I know, I'm sure someone's looking it up right now.
I mean, that album came out back when vinyl was still, it was on its death. It had the death knell happening.
Yeah, I don't remember. And then there's a bunch of first releases. I hate first releases because those are when they get released first time ever on Record Store Day, but then they come out like a week later everywhere else. I don't know. So Record Store Day really, I just saw 10 tons of major label releases, 4 million 7-inches I don't really care about too much.
Friends of mine would go, they used to get a bunch of Guided by Voices stuff and a lot of, indie stuff. You're right, until the majors took over, then it was
there is one Guide by Voice. So I have a holy grail. We'll talk a little bit because this week I reviewed a new record store that I found in Allentown, and one thing I did mention that I would like to talk about is I have OCD sort of, where I hate going through.
You don't say.
I hate going through old record stores and just sifting through dirty crates of records for hours on end. I like to go in. I want to know exactly what I want. I know where to find it, and I grab and I go. And I'm always on the hunt for a certain amount of holy grail records.
Right.
One of them is the single soundtrack. Another one is actually Guide by Voices, one major label album that had the Everywhere had Helicopter song on it. And that is something I have not found anywhere.
Right.
But I have 10 albums that I want, and if I find them, I'm happy. But and I could probably just get them on eBay or Discogs, but I like the idea
of going...
But that's not fun. Yeah, it's not fun.
There's nothing fun about that.
I like hunting. I like hunting.
That's why I go to the toy show. I mean, I don't even kind of know what I'm looking for, but I know it when I find it, and I'm happy to get it.
So we are going to finish up with a little discussion on video games.
Okay.
We are, as we've said many times today, old. And so we don't game. At least I don't think you game. I don't game. We don't sit there and play Call of Duty for hours and hours on end while being slaughtered by Japanese children overseas. We like to play for a good half hour.
Yeah, we're...
Between episodes of the few seconds we get to watch TV. And for me, editing wedding photos and working. So I just want to know what's piqued your interest lately. I'm not looking for stuff you're psyched for because as old people, we also tend to buy stuff when they get older so we can get them cheaper. But what are you loving right now? What are you playing?
Right now, I'm gonna finish up Uncharted 1, the first Uncharted, which I never got to play because I didn't have a PlayStation when it came out. I bought an Xbox, which was a poor decision. So. First Uncharted.
And Uncharted's available on what right now? I mean,
Uncharted's on PS4. It's the Uncharted Collection, which is 1, 2, and 3. I got it for $60. You could probably get it for less now. But I was pretty psyched because $60 for 3 games remastered for the PS4, which is awesome. So I just fired it back up again because I got a brand new TV. So I'm really...
I got that game for $25 during Black Friday, and I'm also playing Uncharted 1. I have been hammering through Fallout 4. For the past few months. Now, that's a game where I do play for a little longer than I should, but it's not wedding season, so I can right now.
Right.
But I have not only have I beat it with all 4 factions, I've now beat it where I found every single civilization, and in a couple weeks, we will have the first DLC.
Awesome.
So I'm excited to see what they release going forward. I also, when I get a chance, I play the WWE 2K16, because again, easy to get in there, play a few matches, die quickly, and get out. Also why I love the Grand Theft Auto series, because you can kind of do a mission or 2 missions, get in, get out.
Well, that's what I liked about the Uncharted, because you can play a chapter.
A whole chapter, yes.
You can play a whole chapter, and you can play about 35 minutes a chapter. Mm-hmm. Actually, maybe even less. I mean, I'm not the best at video games, especially non-8-bit video games.
I die a lot in Uncharted.
Ooh, I died a lot. I got better at it. I definitely got better at it, but there's certain times when, I go kamikaze run. I'm like, all right, how many bullets do I have? I'm going. We're doing it live.
Because the great thing about Uncharted is you really get 10 bullets. And you got to make every one of those headshots count.
Well, you do, but then there's, or maybe you're playing it on a heavier. I mean, I play everything on easy. I don't.
No. I play normal.
Yeah, or maybe I'm playing like normal, but I mean, I've been like, I just stockpile bullets and then I run around. I spend most of my time using handguns because they're the most versatile, I think. However, the sniper option in the game is pretty awesome. I've been playing Galaxy of Heroes Star Wars on my phone. It's like one of those pay games. It's free, but if you want to upgrade, not in the time that they give you like the power to do it, because you're like unlocking characters and you're like fighting. It's like an RPG with no story. You can pay for it, but I don't really, because I've gotten to a point now where I've been playing so long that I know how to kind of game the system to get what I want. Just unlock Darth Vader, and I'm turning him into a total death dealer. And that's what I do. If I'm just sitting there like in a waiting room, or if I'm sitting there, waiting for something to happen, I'm just like just grinding. Just grinding on my phone.
So you play a game where Darth Vader is a drug dealer?
I'm making him into a death dealer. He starts out pretty strong, but he's not as strong as Darth Vader should be. Darth Vader should be...
Well, he once was Anakin Skywalker.
I know.
And he was weak.
But then he put on the Darth Vader outfit and he was...
So it was the glove that made him strong.
Of course it was the glove.
I know very little about Star Wars. As long as it was the glove, because the glove, I once put on the Power Glove too, and I could play Nintendo so much better while wearing it.
Of course.
I also have Borderlands. I had got the 2 and the prequel in one package that I kind of started playing, and then it was like a space version, and I got kind of bored very quickly.
Right.
And what else do I have on deck? I also have Last of Us, the remaster edition. Last of Us is the greatest game I've ever played in my entire life.
Yeah. And
I'm afraid to replay it because it really tore at my soul.
I'm not one to finish video games. I never really have been. I always kind of just got bored at a certain point and kind of went my way and did whatever. I mean, the Uncharted I will play, and I'm going to finish it because I'm so close, and I'm really enjoying it. My buddy George, who also recommends Heavy Rain, not the other George.
Not me, the other George.
Who also recommends Heavy Rain, he was like, Hambone, you have to play Last of Us. And at first I was like, I don't know. So I finally did it. He sold me on the game, and that was it. I just played it. I played it incessantly. Like the gaming that we're talking about, where you can just kind of put it down. I would play for 4 hours. I played it straight through, and it tore at my soul too, because there's a certain scene that happens in the game.
The giraffes.
The giraffes were beautiful.
The giraffes.
They look even beautiful remastered, I've been told. There's a certain scene in the game with Ellie when she's running from one of the gentlemen. He's not really a gentleman, and it's hard to beat him. And she kept... I died a lot. But every time... The way you die is just so graphic, and it makes a sound, and I can't get it out of my head.
I found that was one of the few games I had to put to easy, because there were certain scenes that were so hard and so frustrating that I had no choice but to like wimp out and put it on easy.
The upside down scene?
Yeah, that's one of them. There's a few... Anything with the big blow-up guys.
Because I challenged myself to play it on normal.
Mm-hmm.
But that scene, I was kept going. I'm like, nope, scale it down.
And then the other thing is Witcher, which I bought on the bequest of all my friends.
Every one of our friends.
And I can't get past the first 20 minutes because I'm just so bored.
Yeah.
But I hear if I keep at it, it will be awesome. But again, I don't have the time to commit, so it better get good quick. Anywho, let's talk about awesome things that we love. What do you love this week?
What do I love this week?
You don't remember that we have to do this every week,
No,
do
I
you?
do. I just, I love so much. My heart is so big. I love so much. You know what I love this week? I love my new apartment. I love that Chewbacca didn't get killed in episode 7. It's been long enough, people. Deal with it. I love that we're going to see more Chewbacca on the regular basis. I love the fact that I get to come here every Tuesday and make fun drinks with you.
Awesome. I have tangible stuff because I actually plotted this out. This I should have pulled out when we were talking about punk rock, but I forgot. This is the no slam dancing, no stage diving, no spikes, the oral history of City Gardens, which is also a movie which I can't find anywhere. But it is an oral history, which I'm not a huge fan of oral histories because it's kind of like boring interviews.
Right.
But they broke this down where it's by show. So you can actually... Now, I only went to City Gardens in 94, which was the last year it was open. But you can find the show I was at, The Rancid Bouncing Souls, September 25th, 1994, which helps me fill out my archive.
Fill out your thing, yes.
But it also lets me know some cool stuff about it, such as the fact that at the time, Lars was sleeping with Madonna, and Madonna tried to get to this show and couldn't get in because she couldn't get past the Nazis at the front door.
Wait a second. Lars was sleeping with Madonna?
Lars was sleeping with Madonna. That was well known right around the time they were on Saturday Night Live.
No shit.
Yeah. You're never going to help me get rid of that explicit warning on this podcast, are you?
I've only said shit.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Anyway, this is also a documentary that I've yet to see. I think it was produced by Jon Stewart because he was a bartender at City Gardens. And the book is out. It's on Wolf Publishing. It's like $20. I got it at the Princeton Record Exchange.
No
and
kidding.
it's worth picking up if you know anything about City Gardens. This just came today. This is actually the thing I love. I got the Eagles of Death Metal Pearl Jam record.
Nice.
And this is basically Pearl Jam covering I Want You So Hard, Bad News Baby, which is Boys Bad News, which is my favorite Eagles of Death Metal song. And Matt Cameron doing I Love You All the Time, which is the song that the Eagles of Death Metal are saying if you cover it, they will donate all proceeds to the Paris attacks.
The Buckhead.
So this was available at the Pearl Jam record store. I don't know if it's still available. It may have been limited. Let me see now if it's colored, because colored is always better. I don't think it is. No, it's black, but it is awesome, and it's definitely worth picking up. So Pearl Jam, Eagles of Death Metal, do it. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Nothing.
Great drink, great show. I'm George. This is Hambone. Hambone, how can they reach you?
You can find me on unwinnable.com, where I am a co-host of the podcast Eye of the Beer Holder, where we talk about Dungeons & Dragons and we get drunk together. Similar premise to this, except there's dice involved. I'm also on Twitter at Handbreaker, on Periscope at Handbreaker as well.
My name is George, as you know by now. I am on Twitter at GLK Creative. I am on Instagram at GLK Creative. I'm on Periscope at Cult of George. You can find me at cultofgeorge.com, where I write about all the stuff we talk about and so much more each and every week. Stay tuned for so much more Mai Tai TV. We've got great stuff coming up in the coming weeks, and we are so excited to share our time with you. Hambone, take us away.
Aloha.
Перебиты, поломаны крылья, серой болью всю душу свело.